I happened to be outside, and the mailman, I don't really recall his name, but he was a friend of the family, just a friend. And he just stared and looked at me, and he says, I hate to do this, this and that. I passed out so many of these, being older than that. He went through this through World War II. And I said, well, that's okay. What have you got? He says, you got a letter from the U.S. Elective Service. I said, that's fine. I've been kind of expecting it. Right off the bat, there's three ways to do things: the right way, the wrong way, and the Army way. And you shall do everything the Army way. No doubt about it. All I got is going to Korea. Got on that ship, and we started going to Korea. Being January, the water was a little choppy. And I was getting woozy. I was getting seasick and that. Then we went, so to speak, like 500 miles out of our way to bypass a hurricane. And that ship was tossed like a toothpick in a glass of water that's being shaken by somebody. The bow would come out of the water and slowly level off, and then the screw, the propeller that drives the ship, it came out of the water. They put us in there alphabetically. So that's where Zurawski was, in the back of the ship, way on the bottom, right by the screw. I could hear that thing humming. And when that thing went down into the water, the whole ship just creaked. It's like you could hear every bolt and rivet, We got to Yokohama, and at first, I took a deep breath, and I thought, I'm back home. Being aboard ship, and I'm not good at distance, but to where we could see the land, see a couple of smokestacks and that. And I thought it was the South Chicago Works, where they had a couple of steel mills there. But I was mistaken. Well, I was offered supply school. And I accepted, and I think supply school was probably 4 or 5 weeks. So this was extra time that I was not in combat, and I went to school, and then from there, after our quote-unquote graduation, we went to, on a small little boat, putt-putt, across the little river and into Korea. I landed on Busan. When I got off the boat, well, they had a plan, so you get on there at midnight and get to Busan at sunrise. Tears welled up in my eyes and rolled down my cheeks, because that's all it looked like was the Indiana dunes. And there was one big squat tent, which was headquarters. The rest was just sand dunes. And I thought, Lord, what am I doing here? What are we fighting for? People had asked me, am I okay going through this, 40 degree below zero wind chill and all that? And I said, yeah. I said, how do you stand it? And I said, I lived outside for 3 to 4 months in weather like that. Here I am with a mess kit, like the Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts have. They got it all opened up, and they put a dipper, a measured cup of cornflakes, a dipper of powdered milk, and I got a canteen cup full of hot boiling coffee. But I had to go back outside. There's no benches or anything. Find a snowbank. Sat down on the snowbank, and I put my coffee down because I needed to eat my cereal. Well, I put my coffee down. I seen it slowly sinking down into the snow. It was melting that. Getting cooler. Anyway, by the time I could get situated, I had to crack the ice on my milk. Just the skin, it was already frozen. But you ate it. You got to keep body and soul together. That's part of the life of being in combat, and these are things people don't realize of what combat is really like. There's a lot of bookwork involved, but it's very, you keep track of everything that's in the company. There's company property, and then there's the personal property. They had, like 200 men, 200 field jackets, and that. If one got disturbed in that, -1, turn it in for fair wear and tear and request another one. And all the forms had to be typewritten. That was fun. I had a portable typewriter with a cover on it and all that, you know, open that up. We get into Christmas Hill, and daybreak comes, and then night comes again. Oh, we getting shelled. Well, Captain Betters, he got all excited and everything, but he used his head. He used his cool. He got on the radio, and somehow he contacted. He actually knew what gun was set too low. It was our own weapon. I mean, here you are in a bunker. Like I say, you pray and that, and shrapnel's coming through a wooden door that's made out of ammo boxes and that, and lay down on the ground. I had my backpack hugging me on my side, my helmet, rifle in one hand, rosary in the other. When I did come home, my parents were not home at all. We were living on Drummond, and the school teacher was living up on the second floor. So I went up there and knocked on the door, and I said, "Oh, how you doing, Ed?" And that, he says, "They're all at a wedding. You got a cousin that got married today." So I went to the church and that. I pulled in a big parking lot. This is at St. John Canchas in the harbor. Here's my fiance. I parked. My fiance's walking. She's all by herself. And I whistled at her. She didn't even turn around. So I put my hands by my mouth and I hollered at her, "Ethel!" She turned around and I think her knees buckled. I took away from the bride and the groom when I walked in that hall.